again to the Iron City Roundhouse Report, the podcast where the love for the high iron meets the precision of the scale model. Whether you're tracking the latest Class 1 freight movements or perfecting the scenery on your home layout, we're here to celebrate the history and hobby of railroading. Climb aboard and settle in as we clear the signals for another journey through the world of trains. Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of the Iron City Roundhouse Report. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode, and thank you for coming on board to meet another new guest. I believe we have a first-timer here with us tonight, our good friend John O. from Eastern PA. Well, actually, I think he's from New Jersey maybe, but he does a lot of rail fanning and other activities in the eastern part of Pennsylvania. So we'll be getting to John here momentarily, but before we do that, just like always, we have the Roundhouse Report segment where we're going to do our little go around of the Iron City Facebook page. So having said that, Pat, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's
Hey, Brad, how's it going tonight?
Real
Real good episode 16, the John O Show. Because of John's ability, it seems like he's always at a show or he's always with a group doing something. So we thought we got to get this guy on here. And John's got a really good episode this evening, kind of telling us everything he's doing, the shows that are coming up that he's involved in.
and some of the clubs that he's involved with and things of that nature. So yeah,
Absolutely.
going to be a good one.
And Brad, not to panic our listeners that, I would never invite you to my home, but Brad and I are actually friends, and Brad's always invited to our home. But unfortunately, Brad and I live about 3 hours, almost 4 hours away.
Yeah, I'd say closer to 4 because it takes me a good 3.5 to get to Pittsburgh, and I know you're a little west of Pittsburgh yet. So yeah, it's quite a trip. I know the way we talked about that in the last episode may have led people to believe that we just barely tolerate each other.
There is no Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin issues here. We're good. For our older fans that would understand that joke.
And in our defense too, you only fairly recently moved into your present home, so that's one of the reasons why I never. What have you been there now? 2 years?
Yeah, going. This is number 3 going on. Yeah, but I used to live a lot closer, and Brad and I were able to see each other more often.
Yeah, when you were stationed at Fort Indiantown Gap, it was only about 2 hours, so we could.
Yeah.
We always picked a halfway point. At that time, it was Northumberland, and we would meet for pie and other good food at the Front Street Station restaurant. Now, halfway for us, Pat, is probably roughly about Crescent. So,
which is a perfect place to be.
Yes, it is. But yeah, it was great to come out and see the West Penn Panhandle subdivision for the first time in person. Of course, I've seen lots of pictures of it, but it was also nice to have a comfortable place to stay. You and Mary were kind enough to open your home up to me, so thank you for that. And just it's a lot nicer to have a house to stay in than taking a chance with a hotel that may or may not be the most comfortable place to sleep. I've stayed in some really nice ones and some that are a little on the shady side in my trips out to Pittsburgh. So
and we're not saying the shady maple. We're saying shady shade.
Yeah.
Which Absolutely. Brad and I went to before. So.
Yes, we did. That's true.
Okay, Brad, I'll get us started tonight with our Roundhouse Report. Brad, I'm always in the search of someone new that's on here so I can say hello and welcome. And so we have Keith Terrell tonight. Keith is working on, looks like a industrial site. I'm not sure if it's a silo site or a different like grain silos, but he's putting something together here using T-Trak. And we just wanted to say, hey, thanks for posting. Keep up the good work. This was on July 21st. And so that was pretty new. I have not seen Keith post before. That could just be on me. Brad and I are talking. Now with over 3,000 members, you do kind of get lost. Some posts do get lost. You don't get to see them as much as we used to. But I try to scroll daily to see how we're doing and see new folks on here. But Keith, keep up the good work. Please keep us informed on what's going on with your layout, because Brad and I were talking off air before we started. We love watching the journey of someone putting together a new layout or if it's a first time layout or if it's a 5.0 or 6.0, or if they've grabbed the emergency axe and took it to the layout and started over again. Uh, in any way that you're starting over again or starting for the first time, we enjoy that journey, Brad, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Keith has coming up in the future.
Yeah, as am I. I see we also have another, like you mentioned, Unitrak layout joining the ranks. Again, showing the advantage of Kato Unitrak. It gets you from bench work to running trains faster than any track I know of. You can get your bench work put together and you can put either plywood, or in this case, it looks like he's using pink foam. Get that fastened down, and then you're ready to start snapping Unitrak together. You don't have to anchor the Unitrak to anything right away. In fact, I still have areas of the North Bend that the Unitrak still isn't anchored. It's free floating basically because it stays in place, and you can just do the scenery around it. But it is nice to be able to, it can take a long time sometimes, and I've had that happen to me on past layouts where you get your bench work built, you think, okay, now I got to put some sort of platform, be it plywood or one of those open grid constructions or foam, whatever you're using. And then you start laying track and you got to solder rail joints. And of course you need more power drops really with most sectional track than you do with Unitrack, because the unijoiners make such good contact. So really gets you to the stage where you're running trains. And that's what's helped me not lose interest with this one so much in my present layout build, because I can build something and I can lay Unitrack down and have trains running through the scenery. And the other thing that it enables you to do is thoroughly test your track layout before making it permanent if you want to, and
Right.
works for your operational scheme and things like that. So yeah, thank you to Keith, and please keep sharing your progress. It is always nice to see new layouts under construction from people whose stuff that we haven't seen before. We like seeing stuff from the folks who have been posting for years too, but it's
Absolutely. Yeah.
and as you mentioned, Pat, if please don't think we're ignoring you, got anybody, because we don't mention you. We try to give as many shout outs as we can, but with the amount of traffic and post volume that we have, especially with the way Facebook is, it seems like they always feel the need to change something for the sake of change. It may just be that we haven't seen a post yet. So don't feel like we're ignoring you. Please keep sharing, because rest assured, with 3,000 members, if you post something, there are going to be a lot of people who see it and may start a good conversation. But regardless, keep those posts coming because we love to see them.
Brad, that's another thing I didn't realize, and Facebook has changed something for me. I'm starting to get, I guess, as the admin guy, just, if we have rising post, for example, we had one the other day, I think we had 50 people like the actual post. We,
Mhm.
but Facebook came back and told me it had over 1,000 views on it.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay. So it's just not 26 people. That's just the 26 people that took the time to like it,
Yeah,
took extra time to like it. But view wise, clicks, there was over 1,000 people looking at one video. So I was like, oh, so
that's
it's
awesome.
really, I'm still having trouble understanding how to monitor social media and what is working, what's not working, who's listening, who's not listening,
Yeah,
viewing. Is there some tricks to it that I'm still trying to dig into, and all these platforms have different ways to monitor and do these things. But yeah,
yeah.
people are looking at your stuff. Don't worry, they are.
Yeah. And, that goes along with what I was referring to with changes. On the PC, which I like to look at Facebook stuff on my PC because I have a bigger monitor than my phone screen, obviously. I can see stuff better. You used to be able to choose, if you wanted to see the most recent post, if you wanted to see the most recent activity, or I think you could select something like most relevant, which I assume
Right.
was the one that's getting the most hits or most likes or most conversations.
Conversations. Yeah.
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 Now the only option that's there is highlights. I can still select among those three categories on my phone, but I can't for some reason on my computer. So that's something that I'm sure Facebook, they like change for the sake of change, I think. But that's one that sticks in my craw a little bit. But that's
Yeah.
just me. But yeah, it is hard. But we rest assured we do make every effort to see all of the posts would be the goal. But sometimes with as many posts as we're getting, and with the changes that Facebook seems to like to make it unfortunately, we may miss some, but we will do our best to get around and give as many shout outs to people, because we do appreciate you sharing stuff to our page, and we don't want that to go unnoticed. So thank you to
Yeah.
Keith and everybody who continues to share wonderful content on the Iron City Facebook page.
Okay, Brad. Well, who's your number one this evening?
Well, the first one I wanted to talk about, and it's actually over multiple posts, but our good buddy Joel Warren, he was making some posts about the big boy in Pennsylvania. Then the next thing we know, he kinda I think he might have used one of those transporter things from Star Trek and just beamed himself to Iowa, because he's been posting a bunch of rail fan pictures and I think some videos from Iowa. One of them was on July 22nd. He just posted a good morning from Iowa. It looks almost like a drone photo, or it might be from a highway overpass, maybe. I'm not sure, but he's, you can see the straight as an arrow tracks out across Iowa, that you don't have to make as many turns and curves as what railroads have to make in our area, Pat. But it's a UP train, and with a really nice sunrise that Joel shared on July 22nd. And then I know there was another post that he showed of some UP passenger equipment. Yeah, this one was the day before, July 21st, some things that he found in Boone, Iowa. Like I said, there's some passenger equipment. I see the city of Los Angeles, like passenger car of some sort there. And then some locos that he shared, including it looks like an F unit and some more modern equipment. But yeah, it looks like Joel is having a nice trip out across the Midwest. So Joel, thank you for sharing your stuff from out there in Iowa, and please keep that stuff coming too. We appreciate not just model photos, but we also appreciate photos of full size trains, and that's what Joel has been sharing on his journeys across PA in like the middle of July. Then he transitioned out to Iowa when we weren't watching. So thanks to
And
Joel for sharing that. It's really great photos.
it's funny, Brad. You know when you cross the Mississippi without anybody even telling you when they're rail fanning, just everything turns orange, yellow, or green,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
or black and orange. You're like, wait a minute, that those are not colors we're normally used to seeing out here. So we
Yep.
can always tell when someone has crossed the Mississippi. I don't know how much longer that's going to look that way, but for now, you can tell who's
Well,
going
it'll
where.
it'll still look that way out there. What might change is in here. We
Right.
might go from black to yellow here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always good to see that stuff from out west. I know
Eh,
I enjoy sharing the BNSS stuff from around Lincoln whenever we go out to visit my sister in Lincoln, Nebraska. So Joel is just one state over right now in Iowa. I think he's still there. He may have beamed into another state with that stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Brad, isn't it funny how just a tad bit of elevation out in the Midwest gets you you can get so much view from it, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's a funny story. When we were out there at my sister's place years ago, this is when my stepdaughter and my nieces were both pretty young, and they were outside playing, and Missy saw a storm. Looked like a pretty wicked thunderstorm headed our way. So she called all the girls in, and my sister said, "Why are you doing that?" And Missy said, "Well, there's a storm." And Mandy, my sister, said, "That storm is in Oklahoma." But you can see so far away out there. If you see a storm here, it's time to get
it's
inside.
time to get in. Yep.
There, it could be 3 states away. You can see the horizon goes on forever. Yeah. But yeah, we like to see stuff because let's face it, a lot of our rail fans who post stuff, a lot of it is from east of the Mississippi. So thanks to Joel, he barely got across the Mississippi there into Iowa, but it was nice to see some of that stuff from the flatlands of the Midwest.
Oh
And
yeah.
great photos he was able to show. So thank you, Joel. And if you're still in the midst of your journeys, please feel free to keep sharing wherever your next destination might happen to be.
Hey, Brad, my next one is from the Harms, Mr. and Mrs. Harm. Nancy's posting again. Brad, if anybody remembers, they did a showcase a couple of years ago. This is an HO layout just north of Pittsburgh. They modeled the Pittsburgh area, and they're some of the most high tech folks when it comes to sound, thunderstorms and lightning, daylight, dusk. Their layout does it all. They have a circus
Yeah, I was gonna
with
say
sound. Yeah,
there's all kinds of different animations and stuff on that website, as
absolutely.
I recall, yeah.
Well, their latest saying is they've got into the Fowler system now and bought the bus system and the car system with the
Mhm.
roads with the autonomous vehicle movement. It is something else. I know it's an HO. It's not for N scale modelers yet, at least that I know of. But this is something else, Brad. The video shows that it's going across the bridge. They're taking curves. Two vehicles are one's in front of the other. The bus actually goes into the bus station and stops.
Yeah.
Uh, this is just something else. I know Fowler's been doing this for a while. I remember our friends when Model Railroad Radio was still around. Our folks that were on that show used to talk about this all the time. A lot of people in the UK and Australia were using the Fowler systems. Not so much here in the US, but I think it's starting to take hold, at least on the
Yeah.
HO side. I know it's getting better. I know people are using different systems to kind of help manage that. But that was a great post. I had not seen anybody in a while add that to their layout, and so this was pretty cool to see that.
It was, yeah, and you mentioned Australia, our good friend Marty Jenkins, I don't know for sure if he used the Fowler system or not. I don't even know if there is it might be the only one available to do this, but I know he was doing something with running HO scale cars. It may have been a completely different system from what Nancy shared, but it is really cool to, we were just talking about animations on their layout. They just took animation to a whole new level there with the way those little HO scale cars just follow that roadway. I'm not even sure how that system works, to be honest, Pat. I don't really know. I don't know if I know I've worked with little tiny robots with kids at school where they can draw
Right.
a line, and then the robot will use light sensors to follow. I don't see any lines on their roadway. So I honestly, I've never messed with one of those, so I don't know how it
Yeah.
works, but it definitely works very well, as you can clearly see from their video. They got a bus and it looks like a box delivery truck, both running on that roadway, and they're not, the bus stops and starts again, and then the delivery van
Drives
went into
by.
the
Yeah.
left lane and drove around it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know if
something
that's
else.
something that you have to program or if those cars just have sensors in them. It goes kinda like a Roomba vacuum cleaner maybe,
Right.
where it
No,
says something's in front of it. I don't know.
hey, I don't know if that's a special tape or if that's a paint that they're using or fiber. I'm not sure, but it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, it really is. So thank you very much to Nancy for sharing that with us, and you mentioned you're not sure if that type of technology is available in N-Scale. I don't know of anybody producing stuff like that in N-Scale either, but
Yeah.
for our HO modelers, that's something to look at for sure, and yeah, it looks like it's some kind of I don't know if it is tape or how that system works. I might have to look into that. Just,
Yeah.
it's real hard to get me to go down a rabbit hole, Pat, as you noticed.
Okay, Brad, what's your final one for this evening?
All right, my final one is from some guy that, we're not familiar with named Patrick Moore, actually.
No, what did he do?
One of your posts, but using your extensive video or not video, but, skills with, editing images and so forth.
Yes.
Call that with graphic design, your extensive
Yeah.
graphic design skills. It looks like you came up with an updated logo for the Iron City Roundhouse Report, and I think it looks fantastic. I mean, our other one was nice too, I thought, but it's nice to grow and evolve, and I like the way the way this one has, I mean, it retains the nice stuff that we had in our old logo, but it also adds some new. There's a set of tracks in the front of it, and then there's a microphone, which we're both using right now in the
Yeah.
foreground. So yeah, very nice job on. I'm sure that probably took you hours and hours of editing and so forth.
Sure it did.
I believe I recall when you texted it to me, it was something called Chat GPT. Yeah,
Yeah, Kevin is the originator of our logos for our T-Trak and for our page. And I just wanted to kind of differentiate our logos. They're starting to all blend together.
yeah.
So I thought, wait, we just need one for the podcast. So put that in the old Google machine and told it what I wanted, just to update a little bit and
Yeah.
more of a podcast banner, and that's what came out of the old Google machine, and we're very happy with it. Looks really good, and I think this will be around for at least another season.
Yeah. Yeah, we never know what might happen. We might completely change the color scheme and everything at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point. Yeah. But no, it's and we are very appreciative to Kevin. He did a great job coming up with the original logo, and I don't see that we need to completely scrap that, but this is just another variation on the same theme, right?
yeah, and it kind of goes with some of us wear the black shirts at the show, so I thought that kind of matched. So I
Yeah, we
went with
still
something.
we
Yeah,
still have some of the gray ones that pop up occasionally too.
that's
We have
right.
the black ones. We have the red founding members ones. So yeah,
Yeah,
variety is the spice of life, right?
that's right. That's right.
Yes, sir. So yeah, nice job with that. And if anybody's hearing this and hasn't seen it yet, it's a post by Pat Moore on would have been today, I guess you posted it about not that long ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just this morning or
Just this morning. Yep.
July 24th. So check that out and let us know what you think of that logo. I personally like it a lot. So well done, Pat. And I hope it didn't take you too long to throw that together.
Uh, Not too bad.
No, great work. Great work.
Okay, Brad, we'll be back just after this, and our listeners are going to hear the John O Show right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Once again, this is episode 15, Model Railroad Days, and I'll be passing over to Brad so he can introduce our very special guest this evening.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. I'm excited about this one. With us tonight is our good buddy and Iron City member, John O. His last name, as he tells me, is of Polish descent. It's Olenak, I think, but he prefers to just go by John O because he's sick of hearing people like me butcher his name. So John O is here with us to talk about some of the modular railroading that he's in, some of the clubs that he's been involved with, and also a big event that John is going to be participating in the near future. And we did recently enjoy John's company at the rally in Burnham a few months back. So, John, welcome, and we're really glad to have you here with us tonight.
Yeah, man.
So, having introduced John, Pat, I believe you might have some questions that we put through the approval process for John.
Yeah, all these have the big giant Brad approved stamp on them tonight, so here we go.
That's good.
Yep. So, hey, John, if you can, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your hobby bio.
So, Brad introduced me, John Olenek. He butchered my last name. Of course. Wait, is that the trash train I hear coming down the tracks?
Oh, here we go. I knew that didn't take long. I can smell it already.
Yeah, pretty much. With the south wind, I could smell it from the bedroom window at late night. So, I'm from Port Reading Junction, New Jersey, or a town called Manville, which is nearby. Been in N-Scale for several years now. Grew up with an interest in trains, starting with like Lionel. Actually, I was into Conrail as a kid. I remember, the blue Conrail trains coming by the house, and basically that was that. And then life progressed on, different hobbies and sports and all that other stuff. It's life, girls, trucks, you name it. Then, several years ago, went through some traumatic life experiences with a bad breakup, and a friend of mine says, "Hey, you used to be into trains. Come on over and see my HO layout." So I went over, and that was it. Put the needle in the arm, and here we are. Now, hundreds of $1,000s later invested into this, and it's just a downward spiral.
So John,
it's an upward
spiral. Yeah.
Well, financial downward.
Oh yeah.
So John, if you can for a little bit, if you can tell the listeners, what personal modules do you have? What do you like to model now? I know you said you started with Conrail. What are you kind of into now, and maybe some clubs that you belong to?
So ironically, I do not like Conrail much anymore. After you get older, you realize what they did, how they evolved out of Penn Central and all that, and how crooked they were. So my interest actually got into the Lackawannas. So it's DL&W, original Lackawanna, into Erie Lackawanna, and now I also model present day Delaware Lackawanna out of Scranton. What really got me interested in that area was riding four-wheelers up and down the Jersey Cutoff, the Lackawanna Cutoff up in North Jersey, and especially the Pollenskill Viaduct, which is similar to like the Tunkhannock or Nicholson Viaduct out in PA. It's one of the major bridges that the DL&W had built out of concrete. So that evolved into that. I got other stuff too. Amtrak, I like New Jersey Transit. You name it, I got an engine from something. It's like candy. It's like going to the candy store. You see a color you like, you buy it.
I believe you have. I think it was yours. You have one of the Conrail Heritage units that NJ Transit did with some of their Comet cars. I think, is that right?
Yes. So I custom kit bashed a GP40 in the Conrail Heritage, in N scale. I did my own ESU install. It's got the strobe lights. I got the RS3. It was an RS3 horn they had on it in the beginning when they released it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty close.
I think you had that train at the rally, didn't you?
Yeah. I was running that with the Rapido Comets behind it.
Thought so. Yeah. That was a nice looking train. That I'm sure. It's the NJ Transit is a railroad that doesn't get a lot of modeling, and I thought it was cool that you had that there. And I'm still working on their PRSL Heritage unit here.
Yeah,
that I have. I need to get some of those cars like you have for it, though.
Yeah, they're hard to come by, but Rapido is supposed to be releasing them. We'll see how that goes, if they had enough pre-orders.
That's right. I pre-ordered some of those now that you mention it.
I've been hearing rumors, through the mill that they might have not exceeded their expectations, but we shall see.
Yeah, that's all we can do is wait and see.
Now,
John, as far as that, sorry.
I was going to say, John, I know we talked before the show about some different modules that you have. What are you targeting right now with your modules? What's some spaces or areas that you model?
So I participate in T-Trak, Fremo N, and also N-Trak. But it seems like the N-Trak is starting to, I don't know if you want to say phase out, just trying to get participation together at shows. The clubs are getting older, and, the time restrictions on Friday nights, getting down to a show to help set up, we all have to work. So a lot of us have been shifting gears towards the T-Trak. It's a smaller footprint, and, you can fit a lot in a smaller space, and it goes together relatively simple and quick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and on your T-Trak, do you guys have a targeted area, or is it a freelance? You guys can do whatever you want, or I know some clubs, they try to do a time frame or a part of the country. What's your T-Trak experience?
So my first module I ever built, it was a T-Trak single, and that actually is a prototypical-ish scene of the Raritan Bay shore along the New York and Long Branch, which is the Pennsylvania Railroad, down in South Amboy, New Jersey, set in like the 1960s. It's actually a duck hunting scene in the wintertime. So I actually modeled dead season. So it's very rare to see anything green on any of my, Fremo modules or T-Trak modules. Everything's based in the fall or winter time or dead season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I really enjoy those because it you don't want to go to a show and just see summertime the whole entire show. You know what I mean? It's great when someone takes the effort. I tell you, I do fall, and I know it's not easy. You got to put foliage on the ground. You got to try to match trees. And then you're like, okay, does that look real? And then I spend half my time in the fall just taking real pictures of trees to see, and then taking it back to my layout. I was like, well, that looks actually real. It is that bright during this time of year with those leaves. So I know about the dead season too. About hey, what can you actually see? It kind of gives you as a rail fan, right? Dead season kind of gives you even more ability to rail fan or take pictures of the town as it's going through and everything. So I think I like to see that in modeling.
Yeah,
It is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
it's different, like I said, everybody does green. You got the monotony of the green, or I got some friends in Fremont that actually do like desert scenes or western scenes, and that's pretty cool too. But there's something about the dead season. Yeah, you got fragile trees, especially with the sea foam armatures that we use. They're prone to breaking pretty easily, so you got to be very delicate. But it just breaks up the monotony of that green, gives you something different to look at.
And you mentioned that you do basically all three of the more well-known types of modules in N scale. The only ones that we have, Pat and I have experience with are T-Trak. I know I've never done anything with the other two. Can you speak a little bit to the differences between Fremo N and N-Trak modules, if you don't mind?
So the Fremo N is based off a bunch of different guidelines. We use a 50-inch rail height, so you basically your operating level is much higher, which I actually enjoy instead
Mhm.
of over T-Track. But the reason I do T-Track is because we got more opportunities doing T-Track around here as opposed to Fremo. Fremo is more of a bigger space, and it's like a treat when that comes up. It's it's more of a treat type event where you don't get to do it very often, so it's really special.
Mhm.
But as far as the Fremo modules, like I said, it's 50-inch rail height, and then you got your end plates. I believe they're no less than 12 inches wide on the ends, and it uses 3/4 inch birch plywood, and the end plate has to be 6 inches high, and that's the standard. But you're welcome to build any shape of module that fits on those end plates within reason.
So it's kinda like, almost the sky's the limit really with what shape you're gonna build. I always thought it was, I guess, unrestrictive is the term that I would choose for that, and you have a lot of freedom that you don't have in some of the, like, with a T-Track module, which, as you mentioned, there are advantages to that too, but you're pretty restricted as far as, you got single, double, triple, quad, and then
Mhm.
you can monkey around a little bit with different depths. But I've seen some of those Fremo modules that are pretty impressive in size, and it is neat to go see one of those because you never really know what kind of overall shape the layout is going to take just because the modules aren't all a completely standardized shape, and they do have. Then you usually get pretty long runs with those Fremo end setups too. So I've had I've always found it interesting. I just don't have. I would have to get a tonneau cover for my truck to haul a to haul a Fremo module. I got in that little Fiesta, it can haul T-Track, and that's about it. But
You
yeah,
know what? You
yeah.
say, space is a limitation to you, but, I drive a Ram 2500 and it's a
Mhm.
4-door and the bed is open. But I designed, when I got into Fremo, they told me, my buddy Nick's like, "Hey, you're not allowed to come run with us unless you build corners because we need corner modules."
Uh-huh.
And I just that time in the beginning when I was learning how to build corners, I'm just shaking my head at him like this sucks, like this is a pain, because it's hard to get that shape, and being new to it, you don't really know what you're doing, and it was a learning curve, no pun intended. But
Mhm.
I got it done. I have two corners that I boxed together, and they fit on one passenger seat basically.
Oh, that's cool. Very
So,
cool.
and then my second build was another dead season. It's basically the same size as a T-Track double,
Okay.
Fremo module, and that's like my Christmas tree farm, as I call it. I actually had that out at Altoona and Amherst this year. Those are the first 2 shows. Oh, and then the N-Scale Gathering we just had back in April.
Awesome.
It was well received. But yeah, don't be discouraged on, sizes and stuff and transportation. I mean, I keep the Christmas tree farm in one of those 27-gallon Lowe's totes. And it
Okay.
stores and travels just fine right there. Yeah.
Good to know. I'm just out of space for storing modules in general right now. But, yeah.
I think we all are, but those totes are very helpful, especially with the, back in the T-Trak.
Then you can stack them once you get. That's the nice thing about those totes. I'm building one right now for the T-Trak contest that we have at Altoona, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to build it and try to sell it because I'm busting at the seams as far as T-Trak storage. Those are my issues, though.
You sleep on a bed, right? You can stack it underneath the bed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Hey, John, tell us a little bit about these clubs that you belong to that have I guess I call them hometown layouts or whatnot in a building. Tell us a little bit about a couple of the clubs that you belong to.
So my first club that I ever joined was Keystone N-Trak out in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. I was actually dating a girl at the time that lived like 5 minutes from there. So we were bored one day and I said, "Oh, let's go check out this club," And from right there, I was like, all right, I'm sold. I joined the next week and whatever. And they have a nice house layout inside of like a basement office space that we rent. And go down there anytime, 24-hour access and run trains. And we get together in monthly meetings and, events and shows. And, it's pretty well laid out. Another club I'm involved with is the Model Railroad Club of Union County here in Jersey. They have a really expansive N-scale layout. And then also on the HO side, which I don't really like to get into, they got a massive, massive HO layout that's been featured in some magazines over there. And I also, I'm at the Fremo, which is more, not really a club, but, a group of people. And then there's another club I belong to, and it's the North Jersey N-Trak. And then I'm also a member of the Jersey Central N-Trak group, which are just traveling clubs. But basically, it's like a big party. We all just get together at the same shows and run. So
that sounds awesome.
Is it just me, or did he forget one?
I think he forgot one. There's some yin. There's a couple yins out there.
Yeah.
Now, I do see you. Yeah, John, I do see you posting a lot on our page with the Keystone guys. Now, is that a T-Trak thing that you guys take to different shows, or is that just you guys showing us your open houses? Or is there a little bit of both? I know you guys always have an open house at Christmas time, but I didn't know what the other modules were.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. Like I said, we do N-Trak, we do T-Trak with that club. But a lot of that stuff I post recently was T-Trak events, amongst other clubs too, with that I'm in. I just post the T-Trak events. But the Keystone is one of the last that's really running the N-Trak as far as that goes. And then there's the Jersey Central. We do N-Trak there too, but it doesn't really get used as much. Just the modules need a lot of updating, which it's hard to get the group together and people that want to participate and help out. So, time is of the essence with all this, trying to orchestrate all that.
And you mentioned the North Jersey. Is that the group that Dave Ferrari's part of, or am I thinking?
Yes,
it is. Okay,
correct. Yep.
We always run into him at Altoona. And
he coordinates the whole T-Trak out there, I believe.
He does. Yep, always does a really nice job with that too.
Yep. I'll be seeing him in a couple weeks.
Cool. Yeah. Tell him we said hi, please.
He'll probably listen to this and then text me. Oh, I heard you. every time I get featured in Rail Pace magazine with my train photos, he'll text me, "Good job."
Oh, wow.
That is so weird, because I was just sitting here thinking I could have sworn I knew you from somewhere before I met you. That's where it was. You have stuff in Rail Pace.
Yeah, shockingly.
There's a whole other podcast we can get to, Pat.
Oh, yeah. And now I just got an email from Trains Magazine. They want to use my big boy stuff
Oh, that's
in the,
awesome.
Oh,
in the
excellent.
September issue. Yeah. So it's
Very cool.
out of nowhere. Another random hobby of mine was getting a camera 2 years
Yeah.
ago and learning that. It's everybody's, oh, you shoot photos? Yeah, just the trains.
This guy's full of surprises, Pat.
I know he is. I was like, wait a minute here. What did he just say?
Was that what I heard? Yeah.
And
Oh,
then I'm looking to
that's
hoping
cool.
hoping the weather shapes up for Friday. I'm looking to take the boat out and do some rail fanning up on the Hudson with
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
an Erie Lackawanna mentor of mine, Bob Bars, historian. He
Very
wants to go
cool.
out. So hopefully it's not too hot. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
I was thinking of going to see the big boy today, but when I woke up and went for a walk this morning, just as the sun was coming up, it was already too hot for me. It's like,
Yeah.
you better stay in the air conditioning, bud.
So, John, if you can, I know you got a big event coming up here in August. Tell us a little bit about that and where it's located and what it's called and what the purpose of the event is.
So the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania hosts every August an event called the Model Railroading Days. So basically, any club that signs up in advance and gets vetted brings their layouts down, and it's like N-Trak, or there's like an HO Fremo group that's been there. I know the Strasburg Nick Walmer's group goes there, and they set up as well. But
we don't mention him on this podcast.
That's all right.
No, I'm kidding. Love you, Nick. Just kidding.
Nah. But this is going to be our third year doing it with me and Ed Kaprzinski Sr. We both double head it. Ed Kaprzinski's father. Mm-hmm. He was on the podcast recently, I believe, or did a showcase.
He did a clinic for us.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get him to come down with his modules as well. But we all, I call for modules, and we set up in front of the rolling stock there inside the museum, and run 2.5 days of T-Trak.
You haven't done the call for modules for that yet, have you?
I did locally back in March, but I'm going to send one out. I'm going to send another one out here in the next week or so. Yeah. If anybody from the podcast hears this and would like to participate, I can have them drop my email in there or shoot me a message on Facebook. But I prefer, as much as I hate email, shoot me an email so you're actually, safe in there.
I know some of the guys from Iron City East are interested, including the aforementioned Nick.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be setting up and running with the Strasburg layout, but he said he would like to have some of his modules included in the T-Trak set.
Well, I'm going to have a talk with him and say it's one or the other, and us cool kids, he better be with us instead.
I tried to warn you, but I'm.
So John, the great thing about that show is you can see the real rolling stock from the museum, plus all the different clubs that are there all in one weekend. So that's a pretty special weekend.
Yeah, and guys from my other clubs came out the first year, and I know they went for a ride on the Strasburg train. They got bored midday and took a train ride,
That is really cool.
And I may be wrong about this, but I think it's multiple weekends that goes on, right?
Yes.
They like rotate. Well, go ahead, Nick. You know more than I do.
Yeah, so I set this one up because I botched it last year. I didn't plan in advance because we have our Edison Greenberg show here in Jersey early August, and I accidentally booked our date for the Railroad Museum on that date. So we kind of had lack of people that wanted to come out.
Mm-hmm.
But this year I planned it so we have the Chattanooga event, the big T-Trak everybody's going out to in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think it's the first weekend of August. And then they come back and they do the Edison Greenberg show. And then the weekend after that, 8/15 and 8/16 is going to be the Railroad Museum event, T-Trak, combined T-Trak event.
That's awesome.
Hoping for a good turnout. We were going to try and encapsulate the Pennsy E7 with modules on one side all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
But I brought it up to the girl that runs the program there again earlier this year, and she said we might have an issue with doing that, but we can do anything else in that floor plan as we please for the most part within reason.
Yeah, that's a pretty
So,
big space they have there under roof for all
yeah,
stock. So yeah.
it's about 12. Like the footprint we got to use is like 12 by 100.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we have a
It's
pretty
awesome.
expensive layout there.
That's cool.
Yeah, last year we were set up in front of the Conrail GP30.
I remember that. I
And then
remember
we
you
had
posted pictures.
we had the E44 on the other side. The year before that, we set up in front of the GG1.
Oh wow.
And what the cool thing is, the museum director I'm pretty good with, at the end of the show, you just tell him, hey, or I can tell him, hey, we want to go inside this engine or whatever. He'll let us in there and, sit in a cab and whatnot. So we've been in the E44, we've been in the GG1, some of these things that aren't open to the public normally.
Yeah. No, that's neat.
That's awesome.
So not a lot of guys can say, in my age at 36, can say we sat in the GG1,
that's
Yeah, right.
or at E44.
Yeah. No, that is neat.
Now, John, what kind of systems do you use? Command and control system do you guys use for that event?
You're putting me on the spot with this. I gotta say, it uses duplex and has Wi-Fi capabilities through JMRI. So I'm gonna leave the digital track side out of it for you.
But if someone wanted to come with DC and work with you guys, can you do that, or is it mostly a DCC layout for that weekend?
On my command station that I run, because I have the JMRI with Raspberry Pi and all that, I still do with the Digitraks. I still can use function 0.
Okay.
And run your locomotive on DC, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
But DCC is much cooler. I mean,
yeah.
If they want to send me their engines, I'll upgrade it for them, no problem.
There's a good shameless plug. I like.
Yeah. It's like the user fee. You want to run? No problem. Give me your DC, and I'll have it set up for our system in no time.
Yeah, I'll mill it out, put a decoder real quick. No big deal.
Yeah. You're like, you bring it home, you're like, why is this not running on my DC layout anymore? What's going on?
That's the best thing I do is when I program somebody's locomotive with ESU, I automatically disable analog on it so they can't fry it.
Hey, John, any future projects or events that you have coming up that you've been working on or you want to just talk about?
Right now, just the Railroad Museum, August 15th and 16th. And then we got Altoona coming up, but I'm waiting to hear what kind of footprint we're going to have for floor space and where we're going to be at exactly in the convention center there. So that's.
Are you doing the Fremo N thing at the Altoona show again? Is that your plan?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, just because, like I said, it's a treat to get to do that.
Do you have accommodations yet?
Oh, I booked out as soon as that show closed last year. I rebooked my Airbnb, which was actually, if you looked out the window of the Station Inn, we were directly across the tracks from you guys.
Oh, I know the place you're talking about. I almost booked that not that long ago. I forget. I don't know. It didn't. I know it ended up not happening. I don't even remember the circumstances. But yeah, I know the Airbnb that's not far there. That's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Me and my buddy split it. My buddy Jack, we split it. It was like $320 for 4 nights.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So yeah, we get out there early and rail fan a little bit and go make trouble with the cameras and get called in. Get called in by NS and leave before the NS.
And you, I believe you joined us on the porch for Saturday night last year, didn't you?
Yeah, we had the pizza party. Yep, that was a phenomenal time. Yep.
Yeah, so we can also obviously do that again.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That was it's a good time.
It is a good time. I always have to take Excedrin along though because it gives me a migraine.
Fran feeding you too many shots?
No, it isn't Fran. It's a beloved individual from Ohio.
Oh, that little ant, that little leaking.
I'm just teasing. He's a good guy. I like to give him a lot of guff though, just because.
He's gonna put you in a space shuttle and send you to Mars.
Yeah, well, I think he wants to, or else or else he wants to put me on one of his live steam, or not live steam, or whatever that big large scale is that he does, and just set it off at about 100 miles an hour off of a cliff.
Is that the oh no scale?
Yeah.
It's the ones it's like the live steamers, but I think he has a diesel if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong about all that. Those big ones, that you can build and sit on. I know he's
that's live steam. I got invited to that. My buddies, a couple of my friends from clubs up here, members of the Jersey Live Steamers, and
okay.
They invited me down to the blowdown last fall, and it was pretty neat, but I just couldn't get into it. It's too big.
Yeah. That's just another rabbit hole that I'm having trouble finding space to store T-Trak modules. I don't think I have room for a live steamer.
I think he told me like one of the engines cost like $20,000 to start out with.
Yeah. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
So we'll stick to N scale.
Yep, it's a lot cheaper, that's for sure.
It's
So, John, if I can go back just real quick, how long have you been going to Altoona? Like, has this been a thing you have had for several years, or is this something new that you've been doing?
This is actually going to be my second year going out there.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Because I've always been busy with work and my other hobbies and stuff during that time frame, but it seems like the schedule has gotten better. I mean, especially this year, because I actually run a guide service for duck hunting.
Oh, wow.
Goose hunting on the side. So that, once September hits, I'm starting to transition into the duck hunting world and, get back into that groove, and that takes me all the way until March.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, John, if you were, since you're pretty new at it, it's pretty fresh in your mind. If you were telling someone about Altoona, what were some tips you would give them about the show?
Tell them book the room and go, because it's no thought in thinking about it. Just do it.
Yeah. It's a little overwhelming when you first go in there and realize everything is in scale when you're used to not really seeing much of it,
Yeah.
Tell you what, though, if you're an N scale, I would encourage anybody who's in N scale to try it at least once in your lifetime.
Yeah, that's a great time. I mean, I'm anticipating the N scale convention coming back this way in 2 years.
We had a bunch of us from Iron City attended that. We had a good time with it too.
Yeah, that was a knockout of the park. That was outstanding.
Yep. It sure was.
To that. Looking forward to Amherst again. Hopefully you guys can make it out there this
year. We were trying to.
Yeah, we only had 8 hours of driving in 2 feet of snow, so we just decided maybe that's not a good thing to do. When the path of the storm went right up our path of drive, I was like, you can't schedule this any worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'd have been going right into the mouth of the beast, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I was out there. I enjoyed it. I recommend anybody that's never been there, you only live once. Do these things while you can.
Yeah.
See the world.
Amherst is just a completely different experience from any other train show. Just the sheer volume of it. It's quite amazing. There's really, I've been to Timonium, and Timonium's big too, but I mean, I don't know of anything that I've ever seen that compares to what you see at Amherst. That's for sure.
Yeah. Another one that's coming up, well, it's not been decided on yet, is the Eric Siedelman's N-Scale Gathering, which is hosted in South Jersey by the New Jersey Southern Club. That's a really good time, and I encourage, if you're in the Philly area or Southern PA, to get out there, Delaware, South Jersey, get out to the gathering next year. Bring trains to run.
Sounds good. That's you were at that this past time.
Yeah. I've been going the past couple of years. It's a good time of year.
Awesome.
We get together, all the clubs. Basically all the clubs show up, and we run our layouts and stay there and run trains until somebody says, "Hey, I'm turning the lights off."
That's the way to do it.
That's it. You got her. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's an awesome time, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So is a lot of other people.
Yeah. Excellent. It is always nice when you can get together with fellow hobbyists and spend time running trains and doing other stuff too. It's always enjoyable.
Yep.
Even
Sales.
even sitting there at the Lewistown station, of that crowd of us that was there before the rally, that was a great day too.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yep.
A lot of trouble made there. A lot of troublemakers in the crowd.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Yep. Not us, just everybody else.
Yeah. Hey, you know
So-
what? If you're not laughing, you're not having fun.
That's
Exactly.
right. So, John, it was extremely nice to have you on tonight, man. We're glad to have you as a guest. I want to say thank you for posting so much on our Facebook page and letting people know what's going on in New Jersey and South Philly area, South PA, Philly area. It's been a joy to watch you on our page, and now to have you on our podcast. It's what Brad and I envisioned with our show, is to get our members on and talk about what's going on in their neck of the woods. And so we really appreciate you being on this evening. And I'll pass over to Brad, and he'll talk us out of here.
Thanks, Pat, and thank you, John. Much appreciated. It was, as always, it's always fun talking to you, and we're glad that you were able to join us tonight. And we'll have to get you back on for some future episodes. Maybe we'll have to figure out a Yardmaster episode. It's been a while since we've done a Yardmasters episode, Pat. So that might be something to think about here for the near term. But thank you so much, John, and we appreciate having you here. Is there anything else you would like everybody to know before we take it out, or you think we covered it?
So it was an honor. Appreciate you guys reaching out and making this happen. Definitely got to do it again. But yeah, so the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, T-Trak combined open house. We're going to be setting up Friday, August 14th, 2026. Doors open for setup at 10 a.m. and then we get kicked out around 3:30. The actual show is going to be the 15th at 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then Sunday, 8/16, 11:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So definitely, if you guys are interested or anybody wants to come out, bring your module so I can get you in. Reach out to me. You can email me at lackawanna8@gmail.com. Or, if you're on Facebook, find John O, shoot me a message, scream at me, whatever you got to do.
Isn't it John? It's John D.O. on Facebook now, isn't it?
I took off the John Doe because you butchered it last time.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good at that.
Nobody caught on to it but one buddy.
All right. Well, thanks again, John. It was great talking.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure, guys. Stay clear, stay downwind of the trash trains, and roll on.
We'll do.
Upwind.
Yeah, you bet. So with that, we will wrap up our episode tonight. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. As always, we appreciate your support, appreciate everybody who listens. So having said that, Pat and I will be back right after this to share our closing thoughts.
Welcome back, everybody. Brad, great show with John. John, thanks a lot for being on this evening. Brad, a lot of things going on here the last couple of months of summer. And then as we go into the final month of summer, I guess in September, early fall, we'll have our big shows coming up. So we have Brad, we'll have our Altoona show coming up, and we'll all be at the Crescent Inn. And that's going to be from the Altoona N-Scale show. Weekend will be from the 11th and 12th, 13th, I believe, of September.
I believe that's correct, yes.
And we're going to try to have a pre-show on here very soon to get everyone psyched up and ready for that. Everyone that's coming up to the show, please feel free to say hello to us. And don't be afraid to come by the Iron City layout and take a look at what's going on. We have some great modelers every year. And don't be mad if you hear the names come across the line as winners. We have a lot of people always sign up for the show, and for some reason, a lot of door prizes go out the other end with the Iron City logo on them. So it's not fixed. We didn't have anything to do with that. Just random luck. And last year, I finally didn't win. I had won 3 years in a row. But someone else from the Iron City won. So be on the lookout for our Iron City guys up at Altoona N-Scale weekend. And Brad, don't you have somewhere you're going to very shortly?
I do. Before we get to that, I just wanted to say, though, that's definitely one of our two big calendar dates that we circle every year, the Altoona N-Scale show, and the other one being the Locomotion weekend at the Common Science Center now, not
That's right,
Carnegie Science Center, but those are the two signature events really for the Iron City N-Scale. guys in our layout. So it's always great to get to Altoona and see all the people who come there. And then a few months after that, we have the other big event to look at. But speaking of big events, Pat, how was that for a transition?
Very good.
As we record this on the 24th of July, Monday, it's a Friday today, so the next Monday after we're recording this, my wife Missy and I are going to be heading to Chattanooga for the NMRA convention and national train show, and also the national T-Trak layout, which, if all goes according to plan, will apparently break the record for the largest T-Trak layout assembled, at least the largest one on record, unless I highly doubt that there was anybody who made one bigger that maybe kept it hidden. But yeah, lots of goings on, and we have a whole itinerary for some sightseeing and stuff we want to do while we're there in Chattanooga. But as far as the model railroading part of it, this is the first national NMRA convention I've ever gone to, so I'm looking forward to that and looking forward to seeing some friends there. I know Scott Lister, our good friend from the Carolinas, is going to be making a trip up to Chattanooga, so hopefully we'll get to hook up with Scott. And our good friend from the New England area, David Yale, is going to be, and I saw he posted on the Iron City page that he's going to be coming through Pennsylvania on his way to Chattanooga. Andy Zimmerman, who has been on here with us, is one of the guys who's in charge of that enormous T-Trak layout that's going to be set up. And I know I'm sure there will be, a lot of the NMRA folks like Gordy Robinson. I think he's coming. And I did see that our good friend Marty Jenkins came to the States and attended the St. Louis RPM. He made a post that he was on his way there. So I don't know if his trip is going to include going to Chattanooga or not, but I'm hoping that he'll be there too. I would say it's fairly likely. Marty usually likes to make a pretty good stay of it and get to as many places as he can when he comes over. So hopefully he'll be there. And if any of our listeners are there and see me walking around, I'll try to have my Roundhouse Report shirt on or another Iron City shirt, and I'll definitely have my Roundhouse Report hat on. Don't hesitate to come up and say hi. It's always great to meet new people. So maybe if I get a chance, there will be a couple either live videos or recorded videos that I can share from our experiences there. We have a train ride planned, I know, that's supposed to just take us through some pretty spectacular scenery and just a lot of things. Oh, the other thing I'd almost forgot to mention, but our good friend Chris Wayman is having operating sessions and open houses, I guess, sessions on his layout. So I'm looking forward to seeing Chris. And if I'm forgetting anybody who's going to be there, I do apologize, but something to just look forward to. It's always neat to get to these big events surrounding the hobby of surrounding and celebrating, I guess I should say, the hobby of model railroading. So that's something that we have coming up, Pat. And I think there's another thing we need to talk about too, but if you wanted to say anything about Chattanooga, feel free.
No, I'll go ahead and talk about Brad. We got it's almost the hobby season, like we talked about. We don't want to push away summer, but it's almost hobby season for a lot of people, and that means for us at the Iron City, we start our showcase shows with our Facebook Live. They're normally tours of someone's layout and kind of like really telling the story of who, what, when, and where, and why they're putting their layout together. And these are, to me, the most enjoyable things that we have on our page. I totally enjoy these events. Right now, we have a sign-up sheet on our page on the Iron City N Scale page. Feel free to sign up. We'll try to get you in. If we can't get you in this year, we have about 10 to 12 events this year. If we can't get you in, we put you on standby and we get you in the first thing in the fall of 27. So this will be the fall of 26 and spring of 27. That's our season. And if you'd like to participate, now, Brad and I always have a saying: we don't care how big, how small. It can be a New York apartment size. It can be an Empire in Michigan basement. It doesn't matter. Whatever size you have, it can be unfinished. It can be finished. You can be halfway done. Doesn't matter. We just want to see your layout, see what you're doing. a lot of times it's great to see, the starting of a layout and then come back the next year and say, hey, this is where I'm at. So those are always great. Our friend Jimmy Braun has done that several times. Each time he does one, it seems like a little bit more stuff is added to his showcase. So we enjoy that. We like to follow our listeners and our members and take a look at their different layouts. So, Brad, if they need to see us or hear us, they can see us on the Iron City InScale page. They can see us on our videos on our YouTube channel, but they also can listen to us on Apple, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes, Podchaser, and Boomplay. And if you listen to us on something else right now, you got us. So keep listening to the podcast. And Brad, I'll pass it over to you for the final note.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Just first off, a big thanks to John O for coming on and discussing some of the exciting things that he's involved with in New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania. We're looking forward to hearing more from John in the future. And also, thanks again to everybody for listening. We appreciate your support more than we can say. I know I've said it before, but it does mean a lot to us that people are tuning in and downloading. So thank you for that. And just a big thank you to everybody for joining us for Season 2, Episode 16 of the Iron City Roundhouse Report. All right, rail fans, that's all the steam we've got for this edition of the Iron City Roundhouse Report. Until next time, keep those gauges green, your couplers connected, and may your layouts always run smoothly. Happy railroading.